7-point stretch there late with the 3 straight assists. How important was that, and just how big is that? Being able to be effective and without scoring.
You know what? He made great decisions. You got to give yourself up sometimes. They were really heating him up, and he made some great decisions. And we went to that little action, and he did Sam was rolling, and then we Javin made some really good plays out of that. I thought one of the keys was first of all, I think Iowa State's one of the best teams in the country. I mean, they're so hard to score against. They're so physical, and they do it in a basketball fundamental way. The way they switch, the way they hedge, the way they guard you the ball. It's just so fundamentally physical, and I thought for us being down 1 with 4 minutes left, the resolve our guys had to stay with it and to get some scores and stops in the last 4 minutes, because a lot of these games are going to be exactly like this down to these last 4.
We'll go Cliff, then Bob.
Yeah, you held Lipsey to season low 4 points, 1 for 10 shooting. What worked against him?
Well, he caused a lot of havoc. I mean, he's so good. I mean, he goes downhill. So he had a lot of hockey assists. I don't know how many assists he ended up with. I know the shooting, but he had 5 assists, and he was laying. Some of those assists were just like silver platter assists. It wasn't like the assist that I used to get, and just to throw it, and a guy makes a play, and I got that assist. He laid up some silver platter assists, just a lot of respect for him. Our guys had a lot of respect for him to guard, and we did a good job.
Porter, you've mentioned time and time again about 8 starters, but what Latre and Soares did off the bench, especially Soares with rebounding, that experience really paid off tonight.
He had some physical rebounds. He didn't have that rebound where, it was off a free throw, although we gave up a free throw dunk, which is crazy. But he had some in-traffic rebounds, Waldo did, 9 of them. Latre, John, I mean, again, that's been the story. We have 8 guys that might be different guys, different nights. And I love Trey's mental approach to go 1 for 7 one game, and then no one even faced it. There's not one person that had even an ounce of concern. It was just like, keep shooting. I told him last game, keep shooting, and he hit some big ones tonight for us. But I thought Waldo played really good defense and 9 big rebounds, and they were physical rebounds.
We'll go James and Jesse.
Porter, it seemed like so many times that Milos and Javin had to dribble through trash.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make the pass, and they did it so well and got you a bucket. How difficult. I mean, that's so hard for those guys to do it. Talk like a guard player.
Well, it's the attention they got. I mean, their ball screen defense. I mean, their 5s are really mobile, so they can hedge, they can come on up, and their guards are physical, and it makes it real hard on you. I guarantee those 2 are worn out right now because you have to work really hard with their ball screen coverage. And I felt that those guys did a good job. They each had 5 assists again, and both of them made huge plays to help us win. And I'm sorry? Yeah, we've been subbing a lot. Both, and even there's times where I was like, I'd take them out at like the 8:40 mark and say, hey, you got to the media. I'd sit them the media, so I was trying to get them a minute here, a minute there. But they're so valuable, especially against a defense like Iowa State, which there's not a lot there. There's not a lot there. You need 2 primary ball handlers against Iowa State a lot.
Porter, you mentioned him earlier, but Sam Godwin, I mean, 11.6 rebounds. Seems like he's making plays on both ends of the floor. Had a couple key layups.
Man,
what is he developing into really on both ends?
So he's, I told him he was exhausted. I'm trying to look how many minutes. 21 minutes. I got to get Sam. He's got to get, because he had 10.6 rebounds, in 21 minutes, like a little half of the game. If he was up to 30, but then it's hard because John gave us 6 points early. He had a transition basket, made a nice jump shot, hit some free throws. So, Sam just gives you energy too, like the offensive rebound putbacks, the extra possessions. He can block a shot, protect the rim. So same thing he's been giving us all year. Tons of valuable minutes.
Go Eli, then Myron.
Porter, you mentioned yesterday that this is the first of at least 19 games that are going to be like this. What did the response to the physicality tell you about what kind of team you have that can go and play these games?
I think we were physical too. I think we matched their physicality. They were as physical as it could be. I thought it was a really physical game, and that's what we're going to see. And then for them to have that resolve in that last 4 minutes to get some stops and get a little separation. It was big, but I thought both teams were physical. I mean, that's the thing that for us, I think we can consistently match it.
Speaking of responding, what does it say? You never really could separate from these guys, but they come back and tie, but then you guys would answer with your own 4, 5, 6 run to kind of get that separation again.
I think there was never huge runs, but like both teams were answering it. Like for instance, they came out of half and tied it. And I was close to calling a timeout, then I did, and then we got it right back to 5 again. So then we scored a couple times, and I think it was a back and forth against 2 high-level teams. I mean, I think the biggest run might have been that last 4 minutes, getting that separation, and that's what this league is going to be. But you've got to have resolve. You know, you got to come down and you got to get stops. You got to if they get you, you got to come down and have a good offensive possession. You don't, you got to keep playing possession by possession. And I thought both teams had a good resolve. They kept on answering the bell. I mean, gosh, Milan hit that. I think that 3 was him. Jones hit one off an offensive rebound. So I thought they were answering the bell as well.
Go Ryan Chapman, then Tom.
Back to Javin, we've seen a couple times this year. I feel like the Arkansas game was a great example of him like thinking through the game. It feels like he figures out the defense as the game goes on. They kind of manifested those assists. Like, what is about his mental games that you've seen him on?
Well, the one that I really liked was the one where he was getting heated up on the ball screen. He kind of Los does this a lot. Los did it last game, and he kind of looks you off, and he finds Sam late. And I thought Javin did that. He found Sam late on that thing, and that's a not getting too sped up play, and that's what Iowa State does. They speed you up because they're so physical, they're so coming at you, and sometimes you get sped up. And I thought he didn't get sped up down the stretch.
Or with Otega, do you feel like those back-to-back fouls there, like, kind of took him out of rhythm? And just what does it say about him to, even though he wasn't really involved offensively, to hit those free throws down?
Man, I told him. I mean, he hit. I went right at him, and made a real quick hitter play that he got fouled on in that timeout. When I called the timeout, I went right at Tega because I wanted him to get some confidence, get it going. And he got fouled, and then he has that ability to draw fouls. But, he got 2 quick ones. And that I told him, I'm playing you in the first half. I kept on playing him. And I was only about a minute here, a minute there. But I wanted him to know that I wanted him to be there for the second half. And I thought he did some good defensive things second half. He did. He stepped up, made some big free throws.
Go Josh, then Gracie.
Yeah, Porter, I want to ask you about the crowd. The crowd
Yeah.
impact that you felt late in this game especially. It was pretty full in there.
I just said on Toby Rowland's radio, he said, first things first, what about the finish? I said, first things first. Anybody who's leaving this arena listening on the radio, thank you. I mean, the people that were here were loud. You could tell it. You could tell the last 4 minutes it was a little bit different than we've had in here, and I just think, man, we can just keep growing it. I mean, just there was we got to keep going. Students coming back. I think the next time we got the students back next game. But I thought the crowd was definitely a factor. They were great, and we can just build on it. We can build on it.
This is the first game all season that y'all have been outscored in the paint. What do you kind of think led to not being able to get stops somehow?
Credit to Iowa State. That's what they do. They eliminate the paint because they rotate so hard. It's a crazy stat. Look it up. The last 2 years, this year and last year, out of all the games, only one team has made 20 two-point field goals against Iowa State. That was Texas A&M this year. That's a crazy stat. Every 30-some games last year and the games this year, only one team, not one Big 12 team, scored 20 two-point field goals last year against them. It's what they do. They rotate, they make it hard. You got to make some shots. We hit 10 threes today. I thought we made the extra pass on a lot of those threes. We spaced it, one more three. And that's what you got to do because they rotate so hard, but they very rarely let you get to that rim.
Okay. Any additional questions for Coach? Cliff?
Yeah, last one. Yeah, I see Owe, 0 for 2 from the field. Now, he drew a lot of fouls, he did a lot of things, but didn't score. But yet, you guys had obviously your leading scorer.
Yeah.
What does that say about the talent level and what the rest of the guys were able to do?
It seems like different guys, different nights, but he got in that foul trouble. But, Iowa State just packs it in so hard. Tega's really good in space, but Tega can knock down the 3 this year. Didn't have very many opportunities. But, man, he can help us in so many other ways. And I went right to him for a quick play on that timeout. But he's obviously a key part of it. I don't even have a concern on it because he got 2 quick fouls. But he's a warrior, and glad he's on our side.